Who else could it be? For me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to Command Post Game Live. You know what it is. Post up. Take command. I, of course, am your Commander-in-Chief, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. Dressed in all black like the Omen, so you know what that means. One of two things happened. Either we took one on the chin or something bad just happened. Unfortunately, the former just took place, and we dropped our first game in about a month to the Pittsburgh Steelers, 28-27. Such a frustrating game to lose because every opportunity to win was there in front of the Commanders in this game. This was Jaden Daniels' worst performance as a pro. With that said, there were still enough opportunities there for him to win. I don't think his statistics today show his performance because the 17 of 34, which is 50%, is not indicative of the drops, right? For as many, like, we've set a high standard for Jaden. Let's make no mistake about it. He's shown us that he's one of them ones. So when you're one of them ones and you don't play like one of them ones, you're open to criticism, but make no mistake about it. The bar is set extremely high. For a regular quarterback, this was a good game. And we would just be talking about his teammates letting him down because they did let him down today. But he also missed on passes that could have changed this game. And one in particular at the very end that was crucial to the success of this, game being swung in our favor. And he missed. It was a bad throw. And you would like to see Noah Brown make a better play on that, not have it hit him in his shoulder. But the fact of the matter is it was a severely underthrown football. And so there were countless misses by Jaden, a bunch of drops. I counted 6 or 7 drops. Terry had a drop. He got crushed on that play, but it was a drop. He could have caught it. It would not have been a first down regardless. Luke McCaffrey had a drop. Zach Ertz, he had a big drop, a massive drop. Noah Brown had 1 or 2 drops in this game. OZ, I don't think OZ had a drop. He was open a couple of times. OZ had a couple of muffs. We'll get to all of those things. But when it's all said and done, Diami had a drop, but we overcame that and scored a touchdown. When it's all said and done, the opportunities were there. The opportunities were there for us to win this game. And I've told you this countless times. I'm going to continue to tell you this, that this is the process. And you don't want to hear it. When you lose games like this, it sucks. But we're a young team. We're going through this process. And fortunate for us, a lot of the mistakes that we've made, a lot of the situations that we found ourselves in as a young team, we've been able to learn from those mistakes while winning, and that feels great. But in making mistakes, you also put yourself in a position to lose. And just like we won the Bears game when we made a bunch of mistakes and should have lost, we lost this game when we made a bunch of mistakes and did not win. And what you have to understand is you can get away with making mistakes and still beat a team like Chicago. They're not very good. We ended their season. Did you see them basically get shut out by New England at home today? Like, we ended their season. We ended their life this year. Okay. On the other hand, you can make those type of mistakes against the Giants twice, not once, twice, and still get away with it. But you cannot make those types of mistakes against quality opponents, and the Steelers are a damn good football team. That's why they came in here at 6-2 and expect to win games against those types of teams. You will not do it in this league. You will not do it. And I felt like the Steelers came out. They looked fresh. They looked like a team fresh off of a bye, and they wanted a fist fight. And we looked like a lethargic team, banged up, battered, and bruised. And we looked like we wanted no parts of a fist fight in the first quarter. They looked to be the more physical team. They looked like they wanted it more. They looked like a team that was on a mission. I thought late stages of the first into the second, we finally woke the hell up. From whatever slumber we were partaking in, we woke up. We matched their physicality. We matched their energy. And we took control of the game. We were down 7-0. We were down 14-7, and we rallied back and took the lead 17-14 at the half, and then scored another touchdown to begin the second half to go up 24-14 and double dipped on these boys, and we should have closed the door on them at that point. But we lack KI. We lack killer instinct. And that's a part of the growing process. We got it against the garbage teams who can't help themselves. It's easy to beat up on the little sisters of the poor, the Clevelands, the Carolinas, hell, even Arizona when we call them vulnerable. We know how to put them to sleep. But we haven't mastered the art of putting away good teams. We haven't mastered that. That takes time. And we haven't gotten there yet. We had every opportunity to win this game comfortably. Comfortably. And somehow we pissed it away. And for as upset as I am about how the game ended, I'm proud of what I saw from different units of this team, the response I saw, the resolve that I saw. I'm proud of some of the guys that had to step up into roles that we're not comfortable with them having to play, but they played them and they gave us a fighting chance against a quality opponent. Brandon Coleman was in over his head today. I've been telling everyone that. Everybody wanted to get on my case. Because he's a rookie, he's getting his ass kicked. We couldn't even get a screen off because Brandon Coleman was getting ran around by Alex Highsmith today. I'm not giving up on him. I'm just stating what was the obvious, okay? Like it, don't like it. Trent Scott, bless his heart, he fought. And they gave us a shot today. This was a Brian Robinson Jr. type game, and we didn't have him. Big shout out to Austin Eckler for running as hard as he could. Dudes fought their asses off in this game. But ultimately, when plays are there to be made, you got to make them. And we didn't do that today. And you're not going to win against 6-2 teams. Dropping passes, missing open receivers, and missing opportunities to make big plays. You're not going to beat them. And you can try to beat up the defense if you want. Knock yourself out. I'm not participating in that shit, though. This loss here is on special teams and the offense, excuse me. This loss is on the special teams and the offense. I've already told you, don't look to the defense. Maybe this will change when we get Marshawn Lattimore into the lineup. But don't look to the defense to get you a stop at the end of the game. We've talked about this already. We literally had this conversation last week. Don't ask the defense for a stop at the end of a game to preserve a victory or to win us a game. Don't ask for it. Now, again, maybe that's subject to change with the Marshawn Lattimore being entered into the mix. I pray they do the right thing. Like Spike Lee, I pray that they do the right thing and sit Benjamin St. Juice's ass on the bench. I don't want him off the team. I'm not one of these emotional fans. Get rid of Benjamin St. Juice. That's dumb. That's stupid. That's idiotic. We don't have nearly enough depth for this man to not be on this team. But he doesn't have to be on the field. We can have him as a break in case of an emergency. But Frozone outside, no Igbenogany inside, and Marshawn Lattimore outside gives you the best chance defensively to get the job done. You're not going to be able to convince me otherwise. Sorry. He got beat, but I don't know what it looked like off the line of scrimmage. I don't know if he pressed up and got beat. All I know is he better not have been off in coverage and got beat like he stole something by a 4-6 receiver. I just know that much. He wasn't even 3 steps behind that man when that ball was delivered. So it must have been a double move. He must have whiffed it. Like, tell me something to make me feel better about you being 5 steps behind a guy that's a 4-6 receiver. I need answers. Because that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. But this ain't on the defense. We're not going to do that. We're not going to put this on the defense. Because the defense essentially gave up 21 points today. That should be enough to win. Remember, this defense gives up how many points a game? 21 points a game. They gave up 21 points today, essentially. This is not on them. This is an offense that's scoring nearly 30 points a game. They scored nearly 30 points today. We should have scored more. And that Steelers defense, they pretty much gave up 21 points. We should have scored more. Or 20 points rather, excuse me. We should have scored more. We did that to ourselves. So if you want to blame the defense, go right ahead. That shit is going in one ear, out the other. Because Jaden missed throws, because receivers dropped passes, because Jaden wanted to run into a sack. Instead of outrunning Cam Hayward to the right, he wants to spin back to his left. For what? Why are you trying to spin back left to a 330-pounder when you can just outrun him to the right? What are we doing here? You think if you keep running backwards, you think he's going to catch you? You don't think you're going to be able to turn the corner on him? Worst case scenario, throw the ball away. You're going to spin left? Where are you going? I don't know. Like, these were the decisions that were made today. Your heel is almost touching the back end line, and Luke McCaffrey is running wide open for a 50-yard gain or more, and you just flat out miss. That ain't what we accustomed to. First third down of the game. Jaden's got happy feet. Steelers have gotten a little bit of pressure. He knows he's got a patchwork offensive line in front of him. He's not comfortable. You can tell when 5 is not comfortable. It's obvious. Those feet, they get the pitter-patter, right? His motions get herky-jerky. When he's dialed in, he's relaxed, he's calm, the feet are quiet, the body mannerisms are quiet. He's locked in, he's in the zone. When he's rushed, those feet get to moving, and that upper body gets herky-jerky, and he starts backpedaling. You already know what it is. He's got to settle down. And he was flustered from the word go today. And I don't know if he ever quite settled down. That said, he threw some passes today. Oh, he threw some passes today. And guys, I don't know if it was too much hot sauce to go on it or what. But guys, after that opening possession of the third quarter, it's like we just forgot how to be consistent on offense. Guys took turns effing up. We couldn't get out of our own way. We should have scored almost 40 today. From a Zach Ertz drop on a play that had a chance to go for, I think Zach Ertz drop might have been the biggest offensive miscue of the day. That is 1A. 1B is probably Jaden's miss to Luke McCaffrey. Those are the two biggest misses. And I guess 1C would be the underthrow to Noah Brown on the final possession offensively that we had. Those are the three biggest misses of the day. All right. Noah could have still made a play, but that ball was severely underthrown. Right. At the end of the day, the Zach Ertz drop, I mean, that ball couldn't have walked that ball up to Zach Ertz any better. I mean, God damn. In stride, he was going to be taken off with that puppy. And we know he wasn't going very far. Zach Ertz moved slower than damn molasses. And let me just go on record as saying right now, Zach Ertz is one of the few veterans that I don't want back next year. Not because he's ineffective. He can't move. And it's hard to watch him catch a pass 3 yards short of the sticks with 5 yards of space between him and any defender in any direction, and still somehow he doesn't make it to the first down marker. I can't watch another stick route 3 yards short of the sticks, 5 yards of separation, and he still not get to the first down. This shit is nauseating. It makes my stomach turn in knots every time I watch him catch a ball, turn up the field, and go nowhere. Go absolutely nowhere. And bless his heart. He's a good teammate. I love his energy. He brings good vibes, and he can still get open, but he can't go anywhere after. So many yards get left on him. That fourth down, that had no business not being a first down. First of all, why are you coming back so far to the ball? Second of all, you should be falling backwards after you catch. Why are you taking a knee to catch that ball? Fall backwards. Catch that ball, fall backwards so you can get this first down. You know you can't turn around. When the last time you turned around and did anything positive this season? When's the last time you did that? So why are you trying to turn around and all that? You should have been catching that, and the veteran move there is back up. First of all, you got to push up further enough to where you get that first down. You shouldn't be running that shit where you coming back to the ball and you're catching it before the sticks. You didn't run a long enough route. So there was a lot fundamentally wrong with him on that play. But let's move that aside. Because at the end of the day, you had the drop by Ertz. And then the next play is a sack that Jaden takes. And then the next play after that, De'Ami Brown, throw the ball back to Jaden Daniels, bruh. Where are you going? What are you doing? That's after the defense got an incredible stop, a 3-and-out, gave us great field position, and we gave the ball right back to him. Matter of fact, we went backwards. We went backwards. We made a couple of plays, and then we went backwards. We squandered so many opportunities, so much good field position in this game. We lived in Steelers territory in the second half, and we came away with 3 damn points after the touchdown on the opening possession. 3 damn points. With all the plays we ran either at our 40 or up. We lived in Steelers territory in the second half, and we ain't come away with shit. Because of us. We did that. Ertz's drop was huge because we were in a rhythm. And then you take the sack, and then De'Ami goes backwards, and now you got a punt. That should have been a scoring possession, at worst, a field goal. That would have put you up 9 points at 21 to 30 to 21. We'd have had them at that point. We knew they won't score in 2 more times in this game. The miss to Luke, oh my God. That was huge. Because after the defense got this magnificent stop, great play to pull the damn football out and recover it. Ball is life. Don't talk to me about the defense today. I ain't trying to hear the shit. They forced 2 turnovers. They got a bevy of 3-and-outs. They gave us great field position in the second half. I don't hear shit about the defense today. You can miss me with that today. This is about special teams and the damn offense. That's who let us down today. You got Luke McCaffrey wide ass open on a deep over route, and oh my God. Oh my stars. This might even be a touchdown. I doubt Luke is going to outrun the Steelers defense. But this is, at a bare minimum, this bad boy is to midfield. If we don't get another yard after that, we flip field position, and now the Steelers got to do it all over again. With that whack-ass, weak-ass offense, they got to go the length of the field again. I would like to see them try because I like my chances. They're going to have to go for it on 4th down 2 or 3 times. I take my chances with them having to do it all over again. But if we would have got out of there, we were going to go for points. We were going to go for points. And Jaden misses him. Might have been his worst throw of the season because he couldn't have been any more wide open. There was no pressure on him. There was no excuse for the miss. He just missed him. That is a game-changing play, my friends. That is a game-changing play in a 27-21 ball game with less than 6 minutes to go. You complete that pass, and now the Steelers got to start thinking about using timeouts. Now you in that position where you in that 4-minute offense. Now you're talking about, hey, we get a couple of first downs. This game is over. It's over. He misses. 3rd down, they get pressure. He barely gets the ball away. We got to punt. Tress kicked his ass off today. Big shout out to Tress Way. He kicked the shit out of the football today. This ain't on him. Coverage unit was solid, but the OZ turnovers, you can't get past it. Or the OZ turnover. You can't get past it. The 2 muffs, you can't get past it. Right? That hurt. But that Luke miss, I would put that as the biggest miss of the game. Above all drops, above, any other mistake, that you still win the game if that gets completed. And Jaden had several of those misses today. That's the biggest one. The first possession of the game, OZ runs a whip route. He's open. Jaden panics. A little bit of pressure, but we've seen him stand in there like a big boy. Like one of them ones, and we've seen him stand in there and deliver the rock. He's backpedaling. The feet are pitter-patting like he's swimming. And he throws that bitch 110 miles an hour, 2 yards away from OZ, who is open on that whip route for the first down. So I already knew what kind of day it could be. I've seen him start like that and then settle down. I've seen him settle down. He never really settled down today. And that might have been a byproduct of all of the activity around him. Knowing that I got 2 tackles that I don't necessarily trust in this game. knowing that the Steelers defensive line can get after me, knowing that Biotis all of a sudden now has the ankle, and he was getting his ass whooped after that ankle, right? He wasn't the same guy after the ankle. Now we started getting interior pressure. We had no interior pressure all day. He gets the ankle, and then he comes back, and now we got interior pressure. Now we got a holding penalty. Now we got a sack, and it was like, do we want to put Michael Dieter in? You got to let Biotis play, right? You got to let him play. But yeah, damn. He had another opportunity on the second down that we ultimately had to punt the football. OZ is as wide open as it gets, running a deep over route. And if he catches this bad boy, it's the same type of concept against the Giants that we ran with the 2-minute warning on the heels of the 2-minute warning that he hit, that he ended up turning up the field. He's open like that. They had no answers for the RPO game. They had no answers for the deep over routes. And OZ is as open gets, and Jaden misses him. Same thing like on the whip route, misses him by about 2 yards wide to his left. And you're just like, today just wasn't Jaden's day. You know, he just wasn't his normal, accurate self. That said, there were plays to be made. But if guys just catch the damn football, and he had a couple of throws where you just say, wow, he's special, man. He had a couple of those today. He's special, man. You know? And this doesn't change the way that any of us feel about him. Sometimes you have games, right? Sometimes they're just games that you just don't play your best. And the bad part is we still should have won. We should have been having these same conversations while rejoicing our best start since 1991 and the first 8-2 start since 1986. We should be rejoicing that all the while we made all these mistakes. But when you're playing good teams, you don't get away with making a bunch of mistakes. Then obviously the offsides to cap it off was the cherry on top. I've always told you guys, you can't take the young boys nowhere. Can't take the youngins nowhere because they don't know how to act. When the lights are bright and the stage is big, they don't know how to act. You got to leave them at home. So you knew Johnny was going to act up in that position, in that particular instance. You knew he was going to show his ass. I said, Johnny, act with class. Don't show your ass. Of course, he had to pull his pants down and show his whole entire ass. Crack and all. I ain't even mad at him. Because if the defense hadn't put him in a position to mess up, we wouldn't be there. Don't give up 6 yards on 3rd and 7 to make them feel comfortable putting their offense on the field to try to draw us offsides. Now you're putting a young fella in a vulnerable position. Don't put him in that position. Give up 3 or 4 yards. They're going to punt the ball. They're not even going to show up with the offense on the field. Johnny doesn't have to try to jump the snap count on 4th and 3, 4th and 4. You gave up 6. You made it close, and now he feels compelled to go make a play. And instead, he made the play for the Steelers. They weren't going to snap that ball. You got to understand who your opponent is. Mike Tomlin is a defensive-minded coach. He was going to trust his defense. He was going to pin us deep. He was going to punt that football, and he was going to force us to drive 70 yards to get in the field goal range for Zane Gonzalez. And you had to know that. And I don't know if any veterans went up. I was hoping that Wagner, I saw Louvu talking to Klee on it before the snap, and I was hoping that it was a timeout that was taken. So I was hoping that Wag or somebody was going to go up to the defensive. Hey, don't jump unless that ball got to be snapped for you to move. Do not move. Unless they snap this ball, you don't move. We're playing this as a no snap, no play. Don't move. I pray that somebody said that in the huddle. I don't think anybody did. And if they did, the young fella just in one ear, out the other. But you know what? It was a fitting end to a day where we couldn't get out of our own way. We make a big play, holding penalty on Tyler Biotis, right? It was a fitting end to a day full of mistakes, a comedy of errors on the part of the Commanders. And this is becoming a theme now that I'm getting frustrated with, talking about missed opportunities and us beating ourselves and mistakes. But this is a part of the process. This is a part of the maturation process. This is a part of the roller coaster that I told you about before the season started. Things have been amplified, though, because before the season started, there weren't any expectations. There weren't any expectations. So you were going into this thing happy-go-lucky, just happy to be in games, happy to win some games. Now you expect to win games. And so when that doesn't happen, there's a level of disappointment and frustration. And they've shown us that they can score 40, that they can score 30 plus. We haven't scored 30 plus in almost a month. We got to go all the way back to the Carolina game for the last time we scored 30 plus in a ball game. We're better than that. We're better than that. And it's the mistakes, it's the missed opportunities, it's the wasting of good field position that's allowing teams to hang in the game and ultimately have a chance to steal it. We should have lost to the Bears because of that bullshit. The game against the Giants was way closer than it needed to be because of that same bullshit, right? And then today, we got our ass beat because of that bullshit. You keep making these mistakes, and as the level of competition heightens, these mistakes become magnified. You can hide against the Bears. You can hide against the Giants twice. You can get away with that shit against the lesser opponents in the league. But when you play quality opponents and you make the mistakes we made today, you are going to lose football games because generally, the game ultimately goes the way that it's supposed to go for the team that deserves to win. Generally. We should have won this game. But you know what? The Steelers didn't beat themselves. The Steelers didn't beat themselves. They had turnovers, 2 of them. They had a drop, failed 4th down fake punt because we left the guy uncovered that should have been caught. They didn't beat themselves, though. They didn't have they had a bunch of penalties. JPJ is their juice. I kept saying that. I told y'all during the week. He's a handsy guy. Somebody asked me, should we have drafted Joey Porter? Hell no. That's the 1st round Benjamin St. Juice. I'm good. I'll pass. Want no parts of him. But you know what? When it was winning time, they didn't beat themselves. They didn't drop passes today. The Steelers didn't drop passes today. They didn't beat themselves. They didn't shoot themselves in the foot. Russell Wilson didn't miss open receivers. He didn't do that. When the opportunities were there, they took advantage. Yep, they had the fumble down at the 1-yard line. That's a great play by the defense. Our error was unforced. That muff punt, they didn't do anything to induce that. We dropped that ball. That's on us. It's one thing if a play is made, you got to live with that. That ball was taken from Jaylen Warren. Russ threw a deep ball and said, hey, if this isn't caught, guess what? We got a punt anyway. He threw an interception that was a punt. So what? Who cares? The only thing that would have hurt them is if that return would have stuck, and it didn't because he was touchdown. They didn't beat themselves, though. When plays had to be made, 4th and 1, they converted. Russell Wilson, that's a hell of a catch on the opening possession of the game to George Pickens. That's a hell of a catch, hell of a throw, even better catch. When the opportunities were there, they made the plays. Game on the line, 3rd and 9. We send pressure one-on-one, and Russell Wilson, we talked all week about the deep ball. Russell Wilson throws a deep ball. Russell Wilson throws a deep ball. That's all we talked about all week. Joe Witt Jr., he throws a deep ball. DQ, he throws a deep ball. And what we let him do? Game on the line. We let a newcomer who just got here 6 days ago, 5 days ago, come in and bless us. Hot you. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna dress in all black like the Omen because we just took one square on the chin. Anyway, I digress. Let's get to Inside the Odds, brought to you by BetUS, and then get to your comments, and then we'll get the hell out of here.
Inside the Odds.
Looking for a new book? BetUS has got you covered. Fastest payouts in the industry. Get back up to 10% back on your net losses twice a year as long as you're active within a 6-month period. And here's the big kicker for brand new users. Use the promo code YouTube150 to get a 150% sign-up bonus on up to your first deposit of $2,000 and 125% on your next 2 deposits of $2,000 when you use the promo code YouTube150. Also, make sure that you bet responsibly, all right? Only bet what you can afford to lose and do not chase your losses. Please, people, take care of your money. But if you're going to bet with the best. It's Bet US. So here was the spread. Obviously, Vegas knew what was up. I mean, they had it down to a T. The point total was 45.5. 28 to 27 is 45 point. Wait, that's 55. Excuse me. That's 55 points. That total was definitely low because I knew we were going to score points on them. I wasn't impressed with their defense. I thought we could move the ball. I thought we could score some points. I thought we were going to score more than that. I thought we were going to score 30 today. And that's what it was going to take. I had us winning this game 30-22. And if we don't have a muff punt and we don't have some of the stupid backwards plays, we get to 30. I knew we could score 30 on these chumps. And we should have. And we should have beat them. We were 3-point favorites in this game. Obviously, we did not cover the spread. The Steelers won this thing outright. Really disappointing outcome, but such is life. You know what I mean? Good thing is, and I hate the fact that we lost, but, I'm so glad we play on Thursday because I want this taste out of my mouth immediately. And not just because we lost. We need this bye. We need this mini faux bye in the worst way. It's all hands on deck on Thursday night. 2 guys are going to get an excused absence on Thursday, Marshawn Lattimore and Cornelius Lucas. Everybody else, all hands on deck. I know you got an ankle, Tyler Biadasz. I need you, bro. I need you. Hey, I know you was dealing with a shoulder today, and you almost played, so I expect you to be in attendance and out there on the field on Thursday, Andrew Wiley. B-Rob, we've been holding you out for this moment right here. I see you on Thursday. Like, I need all hands on deck. Only excused absences on Thursday night are the newcomer and Cornelius Lucas. Everybody else, you got to strap it up. I need you. This is it. I mean, you losing this game was so big because the Eagles are going to beat the Cowboys. They're going to take a half-game lead over us in the division. And if they beat us on Thursday, they're now a game and a half ahead of us. And now you're in the trail position. And not only are you in the trail position, you got to beat them the next time that they come to FedEx. And you need some help. So instead of putting yourself in that position, you got to win on Thursday. Had you won this game, even if you lost to Philadelphia, they would have only had a half-game lead over us. And you could have put yourself in a position where if we beat them at home later on in the season, we still good. Now you put that much more importance on Thursday night's game. Got to have it. That's not optional at this point. Got to have it. So, but we need the time off. We need the break. We need it bad. We are tired. We are battered. We are bruised. We are beat up. We need the time. Those 10 days are going to feel heavenly. It's magical this late in the season. And I'm hoping that those 10 days, we need to get the win, obviously, but those 10 days after that Thursday night game, hopefully you win that game and those 10 days feel excellent. Those 10 days are going to be paramount to finishing out this first half of the season prior to the bye in a manner that's going to allow us to be in a position to still chase after the number 1 seed, to still chase after this division. All of our goals are still in front of us. They got a little bit harder with this loss today, but they're all still in front of us. We got to take advantage, though. Anyway, I digress. Let's get to the comment section. Start the night off with Shadow Striker 789. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, I don't want to hear shit about the defense. Jaden was trash. Let me stop you right there. What we're not going to do is take one of them ones and use his name and trash in the same sentence. We're not going to do that. Take your emotions, move them aside. You can say he didn't play his best game because he didn't, but we're not going to say that Jaden was trash today. We're not going to do that. You're being too emotional. And I gotta slap you on the wrist and I'm going to put you in timeout because you cutting up. Okay. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to voice your opinion, but to say that he was trash, we can't do that because the numbers don't even state how well he played at times because of all of the drops. There were at least 6 drops today. At least. there could have been another 7, another 1 or 2 that could have made it 7 or 8 if we wanted to put it there, right? But at any point, in any event, rather, he missed too many throws today. He missed some throws today. I mean, no one's questioning that. Wide receivers couldn't catch a cold. I agree with that. I don't know what the hell happened after that first possession of the third quarter. I can tell you why all of a sudden, drops are like the common cold. It's very contagious. Very contagious. And the drops, he started getting passed around. Diami started that shit in the first half, and it spread like wildfire in the second half. One of the TDs in OZ. Yep, OZ is responsible for one of the touchdowns given up. But guess what? I'm not trying to hear shit about the defense today, but you don't have to give up a touchdown. They got it at the 15. They didn't get it at the 1. You don't have to give up a touchdown there, right? We are all aware of that. I said we needed to stand up in the red zone today. We didn't stand up in the red zone at all today. Like, at some point, you got to show some backbone and stop teams from getting in the end zone. We don't do it. You get in the red zone, you get in the end zone against us. That shit has got to stop. The Steelers scored 4 touchdowns today. No field goals. We didn't force them to kick a field goal once. We got them to a third down, and we had a pass interference. They gave them the football, and they got in the end zone. We have got to stop giving teams touchdowns once they get in the red zone. That shit feels automatic at this point. You get in the red zone, you scoring a touchdown against us. And if I hear, BSJ is a low-level cornerback too, I'm going to have a cow. How many touchdowns will you give him? I've said this before. I'll say it again. He's a low-level 2 in this league. Low-level 2. A low-level 2 means you are the 60th, 61st. No. A low-level 2 means you are the 60th best corner in the NFL, right? 30 teams. Each team has 32 teams, excuse me. Each team has 2 corners that start. 32 times 2, 64. If you're a low-level 2, you're the 60th, 61st, 62nd, 63rd, or 64th best corner in the NFL. That's Benjamin St. Juste. If we're talking about boundary, we're not adding in nickels. He'd be further back if you did that, right? He'd be closer to the hundreds at that point. He's a low-level 2, right? It is what it is. But if you have better, you put better in. We have better. Once he gets healthy, we need to put him in and send Benjamin St. Juste to the bench. I don't disagree with anything you said, Shadow Striker 789, except for Jaden Trash. Like, his name and trash don't go in the same sentence. Steve Taylor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, was so obvious the 4th down streak was ending today. I've seen a number of them get ended today. Buffalo was 9 of 9 coming into today's game, and they had their 10th opportunity foiled. So they're no longer perfect. We are no longer perfect this season. I thought that was a poor spot. I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. It was a poor spot by the officials, and then doubling down on it in New York and not moving the ball at all is malpractice. Is what that is. It's malpractice. Now you move the ball and you measure, and we're still short. All right, cool. All right, but to say, oh, the ball's closer to the 42 than it is the 41. Who watched that play and said, yeah, the ball's cool right where it's at? Like, come on, man. Be serious. That was bogus. Deshaun Creech. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Deshaun writes, that 3rd down pass hit Noah right in the chest. Hit him in his shoulder pad. It was an awkward jump by Noah, but it was a poorly thrown ball by JD5. He should have been leading him up the field towards the sideline, away from. Look, he beat that James Pierre, that bum that was here in Washington in camp. He beat him like he stole something. He was open. He made Noah have to come back to the ball And I think Noah was trying to draw the PI instead of just catching the ball. He should have just caught the ball. I think he was trying to lean into the defender. He got a little too far ahead of himself. Ball hit him in his shoulder. It should have been caught. I'm not going to tell you that Noah couldn't have caught that football. He should have still caught that ball. He should have been trying to catch that with his hands instead of his body. But that ball, he should have even been put in that position. How many times did Noah bail him out today? Because he had a slant that Jaden threw behind him by 2 yards, and Noah had to reach back and falling backwards, snatch it out the damn air. Like, it goes both ways. It goes both ways. I don't disagree that Noah could have caught that, but it wasn't a good ball. It wasn't a good ball. Jay Sauer, 90. Been a member for 34 months. Who writes, BSJ to the bench. Every cornerback did decent, but him again. You're not wrong. I endorsed him going to the bench before we got to this game. I think most of you did as well. I was never sold on, oh, well, they can kick Frozone inside and he can go back to his natural position. Bullshit. The general is playing just fine inside, and Frozone is playing just fine outside. If it ain't broke, don't look to fix it. The broken part of the secondary is Benjamin St. Juice. Fix that. Derek B. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, playoffs look like this if no move on D from AP. This is who we are. Again, Lattimore may change it, but again, this isn't a defensive loss. Like, if you want to talk to me about the defense today, I'm listening to you, but that's not the reason we lost this game. That's who we are defensively, and that should have been enough to win today. They made stops. They created turnovers. Like, this ain't about the defense. We had the ball with a chance to win at the end of the game. I don't want nothing else. I want nothing else. I know who this defense is. Y'all keep looking for some magic wand to be waved and for this defense to turn it around. Again, Marshawn Lattimore may change things. But in my mind, until I see it, even when he's on the field, this is who we are defensively. And if we do this and we play to our full offensive potential, that's more than enough to win the damn game. More than enough to win the game. This wasn't on the defense. Defense gave us every opportunity to run away from the Steelers in this game. How many times we had a ball up 24-14? How many times we had a ball up 27-21? No, how many times we had a ball in plus territory and come away with nothing? Ain't no excuses here for the defense, for the offense, excuse me. This is all on the offense and a slice of special teams because OZ had the muff. This is all on those two entities. Rob, you. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, JD5 a bit off today and a lot of drops, but still a chance to win. We were due a game like this. We've had several of these games, though. The only difference is we didn't win this one. We weren't due a game like this, Rob, you, because we had already had games like this season. What you meant was we were due a loss in a game like this. We did this shit against the Giants the first time. We did this shit against the Bears. You could argue, and it's a flimsy argument, but it's an argument nonetheless. We did that against the Giants last week, right? Especially in the red zone last week. Made that game a lot closer than it needed to be because we couldn't punch it in the end zone. But you make the mistakes we made today, and we made similar mistakes against the Ravens. Most of those defensive mistakes were on the defense, though, that day. They couldn't get a stop to save their life. But the only difference is we lost this time. The other times we found a way to win. We got away with it. Not today. Not today. Rob, you. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Rob, you writes, when Lattimore is healthy, they have to keep 0 outside and 1 inside, at least for this season. I've already laid out my plan of action. That is exactly what I would do. And then in the offseason, if you want to draft a corner, another corner, you want to sign another corner in free agency, whatever your plan of action is to attack the cornerback position, because they're going to do it. Benjamin St. Juice won't be here next year. Michael Davis won't be here next year. I don't even know if Noah Igbenogany will be here next year. I want him back, right? He's done nothing but play well when thrusted into action. But whatever they decide to do, we will have a different cornerback position group next year. And whether you address it via the draft, via free agency, or a combination of both, then you can kick Mikey inside where he belongs and let him study other nickel corners and get better at the position in the offseason, work on technique. Then for now, this is how you should finish up the season, if you ask me, with that group right there. Spence Calise, thank you for being a member for 27 months. Who writes, disgraceful, we were outnumbered in our own stadium. Look, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. They do that to everybody, okay? There's no shame in that. They bought up tickets in August. They're professionals. This is what they do. They don't wait till the team gets good to decide if they're going to go to the game or not. They're going in advance. In August, those tickets were bought, okay? They weren't like us where they needed to see the team be good to start deciding if they wanted to buy tickets or not. Those fans are machines. And you can't hurt them, jerk. I'm not calling you a jerk. That's a Ray Lewis line. You can't hurt the Steelers fans. Whether their team is good or not, they come into the game. And it's up to you in August to buy tickets, because as soon as them tickets go on sale, Steelers fans like, oh shit, they coming to my neck of the woods. I'm going to that game. Steelers fans are everywhere, and they outnumber every other fan base 5-1. Okay? So you ain't going nowhere where the Steelers fans don't reside. We saw that they were at the Wizards game talking to JD5 and Bobby Wagner saying, Steelers, you're going to lose. Y'all going to lose on Sunday. Steelers, all that shit. They was at the Wizards goddamn game. They were coming to the game. They were deep like they always were. We did a good enough job of drowning them out. We made enough plays to keep it. Early, it felt like they were chanting, let's go Steelers. When they were up early, I was like, look, we got to do something now. We're not doing this shit like we did back in 2016, right? Or 2008, excuse me. We're not doing this shit again. They're not going to come in here, beat the shit out of us, and take over our goddamn stadium. And they said, no, they're not doing that today. But it's different because we got one of them ones and we're a different team. But we should have won the goddamn game. Rob U, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Rob U writes, B-Rob presence was sorely missed again today. Yeah, he adds an edge offensively. We knew that was going to be the case. Austin Eckler acquitted himself well. Like, I don't know how much of a difference B-Rob would have made. It's not like we got stuffed in short yardage situations. It's not like we got stuffed in the red zone like we've seen in past weeks where we couldn't punch it in. Austin Eckler ran fine. I had no issues with Eck. Nobody else helped him. We didn't get shit out of McNichols. We had one good run by Chris Rodriguez. It got called back due to a holding penalty, right? So we just couldn't get out of our own way. But anytime he doesn't play, there's a physical edge that we lack. I didn't think we lacked it for the entire game, but we definitely lacked it early. They were the aggressor early in this game. Logan, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Logan writes, we need to sign Nick McLeod, bench St. Booty Juiced. That's not going to change anything. Nick McLeod, is he available right now? If he is available right now, what does that say about Nick McLeod? If he was any good, he'd be on an NFL roster. Deshaun Creech, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, there was no move, T. Juice was given cushion and still got beat. If there was no move and he was playing off, I need him off the field immediately. Like, that's ridiculous. I needed you to tell me, oh, he pressed him at the line and Mike Williams beat him like he stole something. Or, oh, he gave him a sluggo, right? He gave him some kind of double move and Juice because it was 3rd and 9. He bid on the. Okay, I can understand that. You didn't want to give up the first down. You bid on it. Got. If you're telling me he just ran a straight go route at 4.6, coming off a major knee surgery, and he just ran past you, I don't have nothing for you, bro. I can't help you if you don't work with me. Russ was throwing up garbage deep balls all game, and he was the only one getting beat. Yeah, Russ was just throwing them bitches up, but I told you, Russ throw them up with air. He gonna give his guys a shot. and he threw a beauty down the sideline to George Pickens when we were offsides on the play. That was the possession where we forced a fumble, right? And then he threw that dime of a deep ball to Mike Williams. You gotta give it credit where credit is due, right? Swaggy P, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, my guy, Swaggy P. Right. If you told me TJ Watt would not have a tackle or a sack, I would have thought we would have won. Demoralizing mistakes on our part and missed throws. I don't care what the refs say that was a first down. I thought it was a first down too. When I saw the spot, I nearly vomited because I knew they weren't going to overturn it. At best, I thought we were owed a new placement of the ball. Like at the least, we were owed that. We will respot the ball and then measure. And if you tell me, hey, y'all still short, okay, I'm fine with that. I can live with that. But to just say, no, the call on the field stands when you can clearly see where you put the ball and where he was contacted aren't the same spots. That's a bitter pill to swallow. Good fight, on to Philly, but on to Philly. Hashtag raise hail. Glizzy McGuire, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. And I needed that. We on to Philly, man. It's a quick turnaround, and we need it. We need it, Swaggy P. Glizzy McGuire, thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Lou, I don't want to hear any of this I'll trust in Witt's judgment mess. If we don't leave zero outside and bench Juice, then the bag is sold liability. I will be disappointed in Joe Witt Jr. if he doesn't make the executive call to bench Benjamin St. Juice once we cross that bridge. You can't, with wide eyes and a clear, picture of everything, tell me that Benjamin St. Juice gives us the best chance to win on the outside if you got to take somebody off the field. You can't look me in my eyes and tell me that's the case. And I trust that Joe Witt will do the right thing. If he doesn't, then that's a conversation that we'll have to have. Because then it's something different. You didn't draft Benjamin St. Juice. You don't owe him anything. That's a third-round pick. If you're willing to bench Emmanuel Forbes Jr., essentially because you see he can't do it, and he's a former first-round pick, you don't owe Benjamin St. Juice shit. Sit his ass down. We can do the whole Mike Sainristil thing inside as a slot next year. It's not something that has to be done right now. You got to sit Benjamin St. Juice down once Marshawn Lattimore is healthy. That's the play. Bilbo Baggins, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, we had a patch in there where the offense, we could have taken control and closed the game right after we scored on both sides of the half, I think. Yeah, there was a stretch there. There was an opportunity. 24-14. We were up. Hell, okay, so fine. And I think we had the ball once or twice, up 24-14, and then they scored their touchdown. Forget about all that. It was 27-21 for the longest time. We had possession after possession, great field position after great field position. We had opportunity after opportunity to stretch. Just a field goal would have made it a 2-score game. And we couldn't even muster that. That's the most frustrating part. Is we couldn't even do the little things to get us into field goal range. Good completion, holding penalty. That's a great play by JD5, by the way. To scramble out to his right, throw that football on the sidelines. A hell of a catch by Noah Brown. Negated because of a holding on Tyler Biadasz. Sack. I don't know what JD5 was thinking on that play. Just run to the right, bro. Worst case scenario, if you can't out leverage him, throw it away. Live to fight another day. Nope. He takes an 8, 9, 10, 11-yard sack. Then we try some cockamamie double pass, even though if he threw the bitch back to Jaden like he was supposed to, I don't give a shit that TJ Watt was over there. There were 3 blockers positioned around JD5 and another 2 blockers up the field. I like our chances on that play. Just throw the goddamn ball where it's supposed to go. And Diami running around like a damn chicken with his head cut off. Don Battery. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Don Battery writes, go ahead and hashtag that, Lou. Hashtag trust the process. HTTR. I mean, we all know what it is. It's just frustrating when you lose a game that is there for the taking. That's all. But, you know, it is what it is. And unfortunately, when you make the mistakes that we made, you're going to lose the football game. Simple as that. Derek B, member for 38 months. Salute to my guy Derek B, who writes, did Cliff's bag run out of chips today? I didn't think so. I thought he tried to do what he could with the limitations because of the offensive line, understanding that you got to either chip or you got to double on both sides. We couldn't. Alex Highsmith was running circles around the young fella on the left side. You got Trent Scott, a former Steeler. They know he ain't shit on the right side against TJ Watt. So you got to help him. So you couldn't get into your empty sets and the things you wanted. Anytime you went empty, the ball had to come out quick because you weren't going to be able to stand up and block in protection on either side. So you're limited in what you can call from that standpoint. Then we tried screens. Highsmith got back there so fast on all three of the screens that JD had to throw the bitch in the ground. It wasn't even allowed to develop. Like, I can't beat Cliff up. And then he called some plays. Guys were open. Jaden, we're not going to talk about the misses from Jaden. We're not going to talk about the drops. You're going to put that on Cliff too? So Cliff got to call it, catch it, and throw it. That's what you want Cliff to do? Because Cliff drew up plays that should have gotten us 40 points today. I don't know if we were watching the same game or not. Because I damn sure saw guys running open all day long. And whether it was dropped or it wasn't put where it needed to be, shit didn't happen. That ain't on Cliff. Cliff drew up a play to get us from the shadow of our own goalpost, and Jaden missed. Cliff drew up a play on the first possession to get us a first down, and Jaden missed. Cliff drew up a play to get us in the scoring range, and Zach Ertz dropped the damn football. Cliff dialed up a play to get us in the field goal range to win the game, and Jaden didn't throw an accurate ball, still should have been caught, and Noah Brown didn't catch the football. I don't know what more you want Cliff to do. I guess you want Cliff to go out on the field, catch it, and throw it too. Free Shabazz. And block on the offensive line too. You want him to do that as well, I guess. I thought he called a hell of a game. Thought Cliff called a hell of a game. We should have scored 40 today. Free Shabazz, been a member for 31 months. Who writes, Jordan Reed would have got CTE for that first, but he's not the same caliber of athlete as Jordan Reed. So you can't put that on Ertz. Ertz he's old. First of all, he was slow to begin with. He was never a fast tight end. He never had a step to give, and now he's old. So this is who he is. And I talked about this during the course of the week. I said the Steelers give it up to tight ends. We just don't have one that's going to be able to take advantage of it. There was a lot of space and opportunity for Zach Ertz to have a big day. And he just don't have the wheels. A faster tight end would have given them some problems. A more athletic tight end would have given them problems. Just Andre, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Just Andre writes, not a good game for JD5, but he's a rookie. Ertz only vet. I don't want back. When 23 comes, have to bench BSJ. If they don't, I'll have a foot out the car. You can't get out of the car for that. You can't get out of the car for that. I would be disappointed. And they're subject to criticism if things don't go well and they don't take juice out. All right. They're subject to criticism and they deserve every bit of it. Bilbo Baggins, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, boy, did he miss Luke and finally ball his life. Yeah, he missed him bad. That was I amend my statement from earlier. That's the biggest miss of the day. Bigger than the third down late, because we don't even the Steelers don't even get to possess the football with a chance to to do anything. Like, we get that first down, the Steelers on their heels, we gonna win this game. Worst case scenario, we got to punt. They got to go 90 yards for a touchdown. I know you don't trust the defense, but the Steelers offensively, they weren't going 90 yards and scoring a touchdown. Not in less than 3 minutes, because that's what it would have taken with no timeouts. They would have had to do it in less than 3 minutes. We get that first down. It was like 5 or 6 minutes left when JD had him open and he missed him. And then we had to punt the ball right back to them after the defense got that crazy turnover. We had to give it right back to them. That's a big miss. But like you said, it is good to see we won a turnover battle again. That's what, 5 weeks in a row now? We added another plus, right? We lost one and we got 2 back. So the ball is finally starting to be life. And another big game for Jeremy Chin, man. He's coming on. Just Andre, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, Quan having a quiet, good season. I think those who know, Quan is out here balling. I think, it's not going to show up in the interception department or anything like that. But Quan ain't missed a tackle today. And every now and again, he'll miss a tackle. But Quan has been excellent tackling-wise. He's been playing fast and physical. He's been where he's supposed to be. And he created a fumble today. And I think he might have created another one earlier in the season, if I'm not mistaken. So he's been playing really well. I agree with you. Just Andre, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Just Andre writes, if JD5 wasn't good, but that is a good learning experience. He wasn't his best today. I wouldn't say that he wasn't good. He was good enough for us to win this game. Because even with the mistakes and that big miss to Luke, if Zach Ertz catches that pass, we're going for points right there. And again, all we needed was one more field goal. One more field goal and we win this game. Steelers weren't scoring 2 more times. I don't care what anybody says. They weren't scoring 31 points today. They went as high as they could go today, which was 28. And they needed a muff punt to do that. We had opportunities. It ain't like they had opportunity. Well, I take that back. They did have an opportunity. They fumbled. They fumbled at the 1 yard line. They had an opportunity to score again. But again, generally in this league, and I said this before, you get what you deserve in this league. You get what you deserve. When you play good teams, can't make the mistakes we made. It's a learning experience, but again, you'd like to get your learning experience with a win. You can learn the same damn lesson you learned today with a Coke and a smile and a dub at the end. You don't have to learn this lesson. A loss doesn't have to teach you this lesson, right? That's just something we say that we make up in our minds to justify shit. There are lessons that have to be learned, growing pains that have to take place. And whether you win or lose, they're going to happen anyway. This one didn't like going on the road and getting your ass whooped by a better team. That's a learning experience that you go, okay, this is what it's like on the road against, quality opponents, and you don't play your best football. You can get, this is what can happen. That's a learning experience where you go, hey, you just got to take that one. We didn't have to lose this game to learn the lessons that we learned today. We could have won this game 30-28 and still learn the same damn lessons. That's when I got to draw the line. Like, it's a good learning experience, but you could have won the game and still learned all of the same lessons we learned today. It just sucks because it happened to be a loss. Benjamin Slade, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Benjamin Slade writes, we need an upgraded tight end. If Sennett ain't him, we should draft one. And they're going to do something at tight end next year. And I think they see Ben Sennett as more of a juice, right? A Kyle Juszczyk, a juice type of guy. I think they got to go draft a George Kittle. I think they got to draft a George Kittle. I think they see him as more of a H-back, fullback / tight end type. So I don't know if he'll ever truly be what I thought he could be, because he's athletically gifted enough, but so is Juice. Kyle Juszczyk rather. But I think they see him in that vein. I think they're going to have to go out and get a pass catching tight end. Hopefully he can block too. Chris and Pip, been a member for 11 months, who writes, please don't support Juice. And guess what? And I guess we suck again. One loss makes us suck again. Look, Juice is family. So I'm going to support him regardless. I've always advocated for us to try to get better. They got better on Tuesday when they traded for Marshawn Lattimore. The first thing I advocated for was Benjamin St. Juice to the bench. When everybody else quickly went to the low-hanging fruit narrative of, oh, they can kick Mike Samer still inside and now put him at his natural spot and slide Marshawn Lattimore outside opposite of Juice. And I'm like, no. Hell no. Don't do that shit. Leave those two alone and take Juice ass off the field and insert Marshawn Lattimore. Don't confuse support of a player that plays for this team for me telling you that he's good. I've never told you that Benjamin St. Juice is good. Never told you that. I didn't even want him. You guys knew that. I told you. He's a limited football player. He was limited at the University of Minnesota, and he's been the same player consistently. That's the thing I can respect about Juice. I know who he is. He's never lied to me. He's never tried to be something that he's not. He's a guy that is extremely handsy. He was in college. He's a guy that had no interceptions in college. He's got one career interception. He is exactly what he told me he was from the jump, which is why I didn't want him. But he's here now. It ain't shit else I can do about it. So I just root for him to just hold up. At the end of the day, our best chance of playing competent defense now with the acquisition of Marshawn Lattimore is to remove Benjamin St. Juice from the lineup. If they can't see that, then whatever we get, we deserve. Jay Black, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Jay writes, sorry, Lou, but Trump sent his man back to Canada. Nah, I ain't rocking with that. J Mart, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Juice is like Oprah. You get a PI, you get a TD. That's pretty accurate. He handed them things out, right? And then he's got a reputation with the officials. If it's close, we're going to throw the flag. Because we think you might have done something. If we think you did something, you probably did it. So we're just going to throw the flag anyway. It's no different than an NBA player who has a reputation for getting teed up. If we think you did something, well, you already on a short leash. So we're just going to tee your ass up and we'll deal with it later. Barrett Downing, thank you for being a member for 38 months. Salute to my guy BD, who writes, tough loss, but on to the next one, Lou. On to the next, on to the next one. Always hard to move on when you regret one. This one stings, but the good part is we got a quick turnaround on Thursday, and that one's going to be for first place in the division. And that's when you got to have it. And hopefully we'll come out locked in from the jump. We weren't locked in at the beginning of this game. Random call. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Random call. Kevin the PRF, in my Mr. T voice, check your earnings, fool. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get to the earlies indeed. All right. So all of these must have been old mob memberships, but we're going to announce them anyway. These feel old. Will Morales, Y2K Universe, Glizzy McGuire, Super DB GOAT, Limit Breaker HTTR, all stand up. You are the newest members of the mob. Welcome to the squad. Glad to have you. Anthony P, been a member for 28 months. who writes, sloppy, ugly mess today. Let's get Philly. Yeah, it wasn't. We've seen way worse. The Bears game, the first Giants game, way worse than this. This was just frustrating because this was a good game. I enjoyed this game. I didn't enjoy the outcome. I enjoyed this game thoroughly. Like, that's a good team in the Steelers that we played today. We should have beat them. But it's not like we played down to the level of our competition, or we allowed a team off the hook that was trash, or like we should have beat the Steelers. But that's a good football team. That's a well-coached team. We didn't make the plays. It wasn't an ugly, sloppy game. It was full of mistakes. But that's part of football, unfortunately. Sometimes it benefits you, sometimes it doesn't. JP, my guy, John Perez, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. JP writes, get St. Juice off this team. Newton, your bench for 2 weeks. Refs suck. Steelers ain't about a damn. Awful laws. # rigged. That's all frustration talking. One, you don't want Juice off this team because it could get a lot darker at the cornerback position. Believe me, it can. You can't bench Johnny Newton for 2 weeks. We need him on Thursday. We need him for the rest of the season. The refs, every team could complain about the refs. You know what my mantra is. Don't put the refs in a position to decide the outcome of the game. Don't let them be a part of the narrative. We could have controlled that. We had our opportunities. We didn't do it. Steelers ain't about a damn. They're 7-2 for a reason. That's a good football team. It's not an awful loss. It sucks. An awful loss is losing to a 2-6 or a 2-7 football team. Losing to the New England Patriots 19-3 at home is an awful loss. This just sucks. That's all. Royal Stacks, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Royal Stacks writes, attention to details. Catching the ball, catching punts, not jumping on fourth. Make sure you catch the ball beyond the sticks. All things we control, we beat ourselves. Perfectly worded, succinct, to the point super chat. Encapsulates everything. For the first 9 weeks of the season, I would tell you that our attention to detail was great. We might have made mistakes here and there, penalties, so forth and so forth, but I never felt like the attention to details were at a miss. Today, some of those attention to details were at a miss. Now, in OZ's defense, the wind was howling. I know y'all saw the ball fall off the tee when he was trying to kick the kickoff in the second half. So the winds were swirling. You got to catch the ball. And can't drop the passes that we dropped today. Can't miss the open receivers that we missed today. These are all things that get you beat. Couldn't agree with you more. Bilbo Baggins, been a member for 1 month. Right. I knew they were trying to get us to jump all sides. I did too. I think most of us thought that was going to be the case. I never felt like the Steelers were going for it in that situation. It was a damn shame that we weren't smart enough to not fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Anthony P, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, please, I can't watch St. Juice next season. Please, he won't be back next year. You don't have to worry about that. This is his last year here in Washington. DJ, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. DJ writes, overall team loss against a good team. I still like our chances Thursday. Regardless of the outcome to the games, we need to get healthy for the stretch run. We'll be okay. Feels different because it is different. I agree with all of that. I still think we're going to win on Thursday as well. But we're going to need all hands on deck, as I mentioned. Noah Nicholson, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. And thank you for your very first super chat. Mikey better start across from 23. I'm so tired of BSJ. I think that's everybody's sentiment. And we'll see. Now the ball is, when that time comes, the ball will officially be in the court of one Joseph Witt Jr. And I just pray he makes the right decision, because I think we've all seen enough of Benjamin St. Juice, whether it's a penalty or a play given up. He's just not good enough. He's not cutting it. Not when you got guys on the field playing at a relatively high level. Anthony P, Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? JD5 and this team have spoiled us. Facts, which is why you're disappointed by an effort like this, because we know we're so much better. In past years, we would have slapped our mama for a 27-point performance against a 6-2 team. I'd have gave my mom sweet chin music for a shot at having a game like we had today. This would have been a great game last year, the year before that, the year before that, the year before that, the year before that. Not anymore. Expectations have changed. Dynamic Dave, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Explain ref bad call. Ertz had first on catch itself, but he kept coming back. So he had it initially, but he kept coming back towards the ball. And by the time he like fully possessed it, got his knee down, all that, he was not quite at the first down marker. I thought when he started to kind of try to turn to get up the field and got contacted, I thought the ball was on the 41. Like the nose of the football was on the 41. And that's where they should have placed it and then measured. And if you say he's still short, fine. But to mark it where they marked it at was a travesty. It was a travesty. Thank you for those early supers, Kevin the PRF. Ricky D. Hustle. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Ricky D. writes, what up, Lou? What's up, Ricky? The drops and the Canadian juice will kill us today. But we had our opportunity to win on the Philly. We need B-Rob to play. Hashtag beat Philly. Hashtag HTTC. He'll be out there on Thursday. I have no doubts about that. I think they held him and Wiley out with the thought of Thursday night in mind. Like, had we had Philadelphia on next Sunday or next Monday, I think you would have seen B-Rob and Wiley play today. But because it was such a quick turnaround, they know that not that this game was expendable, right? Like, you want to win this game. Every win, every game counts, especially when you're trying to chase down the division. And if you got your eyes set on the number 1 seed, every game matters. But if there's one meaning more than the other, you can lose an AFC a game. 2 of our 3 losses are to AFC opponents. That's how you win the division. That's how you end up with the number 1 seed. If you're going to lose games, drop them to teams outside of the conference. Don't drop them to teams inside the conference. We've lost 1 game in the NFC, and we got to keep it that way on Thursday night against Philadelphia. We got to continue to win in the division, continue to win in the conference, and that's how you're going to end up where you want to be. JB, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. JB writes, Washington is going to be all right. Absolutely. This changes nothing other than the record, right? This changes nothing other than the record. Instead of being 8-2, we 7-3. Chef Cooks Skinner, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, the boys will be locked in and ready for Thursday night. I think we needed this type of loss. Hey, whatever you got to tell yourself to make you feel better, you don't need to lose to be focused. Unless you're a team that starts to coast and you got it on, autopilot, and you needed a wake-up call late in the season because you could see that you were 12-1 or you were 12-0 and you were starting to have, create bad habits and you weren't finishing opponents like you were early and you needed a wake-up call before you hit the playoffs. I get that. Like the Panthers in 2015, when they lost to the Falcons late in that season, they needed a wake-up call. And they responded to that wake-up call and they destroyed everybody in their path once they got to the Super Bowl. That's not us. We didn't need a wake-up call loss to be ready on Thursday. We didn't need that. But I do think they'll be locked in on Thursday night. I agree with that. Random Call. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Random Call writes, BSJ was 8 to 10 yards off the ball. Bench him. From what I've gathered from all of you, there was no, press, no double move. He just got beat. And I'm not shocked by that, but I am extremely disappointed if that is in fact the case. And I have no reason not to believe you guys when you say that. None. DJ23, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB DJ23 writes, nah, Lou, he just ran past him. No double move. That's some nasty work if that's the case. That's some really nasty work. He should be ashamed of his damn self. Shadow Striker 789. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? You're right. I should not have called Jaden trash. Look, I know you're frustrated. We all hate losing, and games like that are very frustrating, but understand who Jaden is, what he means to this organization. We're not here without him. To call him trash after his worst performance of his career, and even his worst performance of his career should have still resulted in 23 of 34 for 276 and, a touchdown. Because De'Ami Brown should have caught the damn ball. Like, if that's what we're calling his worst performance, understand how high the bar has been set for him. Like, we could have a real trash quarterback. We could have Caleb Williams as our quarterback. Like, don't take him for granted. Don't do that. That's all I'm saying. Don't take him for granted. Understand what we have. He gets all the grace and all the mercy. Because without him, we got nothing. I overstepped my line. I was at the game. These boys got me hot. I get it. It wasn't the warmest day outside. It started to get a little wet late in the game. You sat out there. You braved the elements. A ton of Steelers fans. You wanted to stick it to them. I get it. I understand. But understand what Jaden represents. You know what I mean? I understand. I understand you mad. Random call. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? When Ben Sinnott gonna get more snaps? Ertz slow. It's not about Ertz's speed or it's his ability to get open, know where to sit down, be on the same page with Jaden, that sort of thing. They just don't trust Ben in that situation right now. Maybe next year they'll trust Ben in those spots, but they trust Ertz, and they should trust Ertz. You just got to know that it comes with limitations, right? Comes with limitations. Lorenzo Simpson, my guy Zoe, been a member for 37 months. Salute to my guy Zoe, who writes, I've seen New York overturn calls. How was that not a first down? He clearly caught the ball at the sticks. How wasn't the ball moved to the spot of it? I don't understand how they didn't move the ball and respot it and then measure. Like, that would have made me feel so much. For you to just go under the hood and just say, F it, don't worry about it. Just leave it where it's at. And just say the call stands, as called on the field. To do that, that felt lazy to me. That felt lazy to me. Because clearly, that when he was contacted, that ball was not where they spotted it. It just felt lazy to me. I'm not telling you that he definitely got the first down. I feel like in my heart of hearts, he got the first down. And that's not me being biased saying that. I feel like he got the first down. But even if he didn't, that's not where you put the ball and where he was contacted and where that play should have ended. They're not the same spot. They're not one and the same. CMG87, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. CMG87 writes, can we take Zacchaeus off a punt return? How many bobbles? And it cost us. That fourth down short spot was absolute garbage. Have to win 2 of 3 before a bye. Now we needed all 3 of them before the bye. Who we losing to? You can't afford to lose to Dallas in their current state. You can't afford to lose to the Tennessee Titans. Who you losing to? Philadelphia? No. We need all 3 of these before the bye, my boy. My guy. We need all of these. This isn't a, oh yeah, let's just win 2 out of 3 going. No. You had the opportunity afforded to you to be able to say, hey, we could win 2 out of our last 3 going into the bye. If you would have won today, you would have afforded yourself the opportunity to do that. That opportunity is gone with the win. Now you have to win all 3 of these games before the bye. The biggest one is the next one against the Eagles. You'll get those 10 days off, and I think you'll be ready. And you get to lick some of your wounds. You'll be banged up in this quick turnaround, but you'll be ready for Dallas at home, and then you got the Titans at home. Win. Darnell Kelly, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Been a member for 38 months. Salute to my guy Darnell, who writes, we just made mad mistakes. The best thing about this loss is that it won't be in our mouths long because we'll run through Philly. I love the sound of that. Let me go back one super to CGM 87 and say this. I don't think we should go away from OZ on punts. Yeah, he had a rough go of it today. He had a rough go of it. I don't think he caught another punt after that. Everything else he let hit the ground. Some of them weren't great kicks, but I don't think he wanted any parts of fielding the football the rest of the day. I need him to have his confidence restored. I think he's fine back there. You know, now we have another mishap, then we're gonna have to talk about making some adjustments and some changes potentially. But I think he's fine back there. I haven't given up on him. Silver Fox 52. Thank you for being a member for 33 months. Who writes, sorry, Lou. One ever game didn't get the dub. That was a tough one, you know. There for the taking. I wanted that one bad. It was too many Steelers fans there. I wanted that one to shut them up, send them home with an L, and take your terrible towels and shove them. And I don't think enough fans understood the assignment. When they waved the flags, you waved yours too. Like, I wasn't there, so I can't say what they were or weren't doing. Every time they put the camera on the Steelers fans, none of our fans, I saw one lady that understood the assignment today. One lady that when they were waving theirs, she was waving hers. And I'm like, that's the point of giving out the damn towels today. It wasn't to, drown their towels out. No, they're going to wave them shits. But see, they're trained in the art of towel waving. They do this every goddamn game. We are not trained in the art and the sport of towel waving. We don't even know when the hell to wave them shits. We forgot they even gave it to us. We just watching the game, screaming at the top of our lungs, making noise, and they forgot to wave the damn towels. That's what it felt like. Blood Eagle Smeagol, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, bro, it's always tough when you lose and don't have to. I'm a Vikings fan. I know, LOL. Keep stacking wins. That's the point, is a lot of fans are trying to, convince themselves that this is a part of the process. No, making mistakes are a part of the process for a young team, not knowing how to beat quality teams when you got them and stepping on their larynx and crushing their windpipe. That's a part of being young, but you can still win the game. Like, we learned a lot of lessons this year and still won the game. And that's my point, is you can still win the game all while learning a lesson, right? You didn't have to lose this game to learn that you can't make all of these mistakes and still win. You got to be better, period. We weren't today, and it got us. Y'all pulled one out. I don't think you thought it was going to be as tough as it ended up being, but you got it. That's the most important part. CGM 87, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, 2 30-yard touchdowns is unacceptable. JD5 wasn't great, but getting too much heat. Lots of bad drops. Do you think we should have added another D lineman at the deadline now? I mean, we already gave up a lot to get Lattimore. Like, you really don't want to be giving up too much of your future to mortgage it for the first year of a recalibration. Like, this season has a chance to be big. How big, we don't know, but you don't want to give up too much in trying to chase that. And it hurts you down, the road, right? You got to make sure that while you're going after it now, you're still putting yourself in a position to build for the future. So it's a delicate balance. I think they found the right, balance here, going after Lattimore, because that's a needle mover. And we'll see what happens, right? J Mark, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. All right. The team will go as far as the O takes us. The D is what it is. This loss stings a lot more because of what the impact would have been had we won. And that's the point that I was trying to make, is you would have been going into Thursday night with house money. If you lose to Philadelphia, all right, fine. We'll get them next time. And then you go back and you beat Dallas, you beat Tennessee, you go into the bye, you're 10-2 or 10-3, and you say, all right, when we see Philly next time, we got to beat them. with this loss, because you know Philly's gonna beat the Cowboys. With this loss, that now puts you in a position where you gotta beat Philly. You're not in a position to lose and fall a game and a half behind the Eagles, because then you not only need to beat them the next time you see them, you then have to also rely on somebody else to beat them. And that's not the position you want to put yourself in, but that's where we are. You know what I mean? So yeah, it could have meant a lot more had we won, but obviously that's not the case. So now you got to go take care of business. You put yourself in this position, right? You put yourself in this unenviable position. Now you got to dig yourself out of a hole that you put yourself in. William Lee, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. William Lee writes, BSJ, can't win with them. Can't win with them. You can't. It's hard to win with them. I get it. And again, this is who we are until help arrives, and then they got to make the right decision, right? I think we stuck with Juice for another week against the Eagles, and then I think we'll have them for the Cowboys game. Marshawn Lattimore, that is. So, hunker down. All right, hunker down. Martin Matthews, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Martin Matthews writes, they have to brotherhood Newton up. They did. You saw them. They were loving on him after the game, after the mistake. Like, it happens. He's a youngin'. I don't like putting youngins in that position. He shouldn't have been put in that position. Like, he's a youngin', and the youngins are gonna be young. The young boys are gonna be young boys, man. Those type of mistakes help you grow to be a man. And he's gonna take that one on the chin. It's a hard lesson to learn, but it's a lesson learned for sure, right? But he said, because dude's heart is hurting right now. Did you see him after the game? I didn't see him after the game. I didn't, but I know he was hurt. Yeah. Did you see Tyrone Tracy after the fumble in overtime? That's a 2-17. You don't think he wanted to win? You don't think that hurt? You don't think losing that game? Like, guys don't want to make mistakes. I hear fans all the time getting down on these players. When OZ may, do this to OZ. Benjamin St. Juice. You think Benjamin St. Juice wants to suck? You think OZ wants to muff a punt? You think Johnny Newton wants to jump off sides and give the Steelers the game, gift wrap? You think they want to do those things? No. Shit happens. It's athletics. I had to ask the mob, have y'all ever played a sport before? Because if you did, then I'm pretty sure you made a mistake at some point. And the last thing you want is for your teammates, your coaches to abandon and desert you. That's the last thing you want. That's when you need support more than ever before. So many fans are ready to quit on dudes after one mistake. It's crazy. He's going to be all right. Joshua Ferris, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Joshua Ferris writes, you are never going to hear the end of it from LB. You think I'm worried about that? That's the last thing I'm worried about. Last thing I'm worried about is what LB's got to say. I'm worried if we lose to the Eagles, then he can brag. I'm all about it. I'm all about the smoke. I'm all about it. Ron Rivera, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Ron Rivera, thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Deron Payne looked like himself. Also, we beat Arizona team by 28. Washington will never get a call on the field. It's been a theme for a decade plus. # beat Philly. At the end of the day, Deron did look good early in this game. That was good to see. We did beat Arizona by 28. Right? That's a good Arizona Cardinals football team, as we know. But that's in the past. And all I care about is the next one. What we do against the next opponent. How we find a way to win that game. We can't live off of beating Arizona by 28. We can't live off of beating Cleveland by 21. We can't live off of beating Carolina by 33. It's the next one that matters the most. And we didn't get it done today. Now the next one matters the most. And then after that one, the next one matters the most against Dallas. And then after that one, the next one matters the most against Tennessee. And that's how we got to live week to week. Right? What's the next one look like? CMG 87. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. CMG 87 or CGM 87, excuse me, writes, Dak's injury may get Jerry to run back to McCarthy next year. I don't think so. I think it's all getting blown up after this season. Doubtful, but hoping. I'm saying minimum of 2 to 3 at 9-4, keep us in the playoff hunt, but agree. I'm not looking to stay in a playoff hunt. That doesn't interest me. I'm not interested in I'm interested in the NFC East crown. I'm not interested in a playoff hunt. We didn't come this far, play this hard, position ourselves the way that we played this season to be in the playoff hunt. I don't want to look up, because they're gonna start doing this at right around Thanksgiving, where they start showing the playoff category in the hunt, division lead. I didn't come this far, play this hard, play this well this season to be in the hunt category or to be a wild card. That ain't what as a fan, that ain't what I came this far for. When they put that graphic up, I came this far to be a 1 through 4 seed as a division leader. Let everybody else fight over the table scraps and the crumbs. I want to sit at the table with the big boys, and I want to sit down and I want to eat, and I want to eat hearty and eat good. 2 out of 3 ain't doing that over the next 3 games. I need them all. I need them all. American football fan. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. American football fan writes, Washington fans, y'all are good. Fill up that stadium, bro. Also, Lou, how about them Giants? Can't wait for Danny Dumpster Juice to be out of here. Go big. Y'all are running the play to perfection. Another great example of competing until the final whistle, making it competitive so that you don't fire your coach or your GM, because absolutely quitting, getting blown out in games is how that happens. Y'all have been competing. Y'all have been one possession game every single week. That's how it needs to look. It just needs to always end in a loss. And it looks like y'all have mastered that. Y'all understand the assignment and you're carrying it out well. Now it's just a matter of strength of schedule and making sure you don't get a fluke win nowhere else down the road. And the worst thing that could happen is happening. The Patriots are winning games, right? They're the one team you don't want winning, because if they do finish in front of you, they're willing to move out of there because they got Drake May. You don't want the Titans in front of you. You don't want the Panthers in front of you. That's a big win. That's why you did yourself a great service today. You don't want the teams like the Browns, the Panthers, the Titans. You don't want them in front of you because they going after a quarterback. You don't want the Raiders in front of you. They all going after quarterbacks. So you're running the play to perfection. Now the question becomes, are you going to slip up at some point? This was the one. I think you're in a great position to end up with a top 2 pick, because this was the one that you were supposed to slip up on and you didn't. LT, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. LT writes, clock's ticking. First of 2 belt to asses on Thursday. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. We'll be armed with a belt in our hand. That's for sure. I'm looking forward to it. Julian 000. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Louie, you think B-Rob or Lattimore will play Thursday? B-Rob will, Lattimore won't. I told y'all that immediately. He wasn't playing. So I told you the Cowboys game is the first one that I expect him to play in this season. So Music, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Music writes, God bless all. Pittsburgher here. Love me some DC, but my dude, I saw a couple of obvious holes that were not called on Washington, so things kind of even out. That's football. All right, we can say it on both sides. I saw a play where Russell Wilson, rolled out on play action fake, and DFJ beat his man off the edge, and your second-year tackle, Broderick Jones, held him. Like it go both ways. It always balances out, right? The football guys always balance out and even the score, right? We didn't make enough plays and y'all did. And so you got to tip your cap to the Steelers. We had every opportunity to win this game and we didn't. And so I got nothing but respect for the Steelers and how they go about business. So things absolutely even out. I firmly believe that. I'm a firm believer in that. Derek B, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Derek B, thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Writes, wasn't down on Cliff. Up, just wanted more help for the tackles. I thought he did enough. The only time I was on Cliff about not helping was on that second down on the last offensive possession where he left TJ Watt singled up in an empty set against Trent Scott. And I said, what are you thinking? Where was your brain at? Did you just have a brain fart on the biggest possession of the game? Because you cannot leave TJ. Like, this is when TJ Watt earns his money. This is when TJ Watt shows you, because TJ Watt will go quiet for a whole game, and with the game on the line, TJ Watt will have a sack, strip, force fumble, and a recovery, and the game's over. And you almost allowed that to happen. Where was your brain at? You can't do that. You can't let up on TJ Watt for a second, let alone on the biggest possession of the game. That was the only time I asked Cliff, what were you thinking? What were you thinking, bro? Most of the time, he was getting chipped. He was getting doubled. Like, they did what they were supposed to do. Jay Black, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, who writes. Ain't they tired of picking up Juice? It's been 4 years. They won't hear for 4 years. This their first year with Benjamin St. Juice. If you're talking about the players, oh, that's different. But if you're talking about the coaching staff, they just got here. But I'm pretty sure they've seen enough. I hope they've seen enough. It didn't take them long on Emmanuel Forbes to be like, yeah, nah, he can't help us. It didn't take long. They're playing Juice out of necessity, but that necessity could end in a matter of 2 weeks or so. And I hope they see the light when that opportunity presents itself. Let's get one more Bet US read, and then we'll wrap this thing up.
Inside the Odds.
Looking for a new book? BetUS has you covered. Fastest payouts in the industry. Get up to 10% back on your net losses twice a year as long as you've been active in a 6-month period. And here's the big kicker for new users. Use the promo code YouTube150 to get you a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit of up to $2,000 and 125% on your next 2 deposits up to $2,000 when you use the promo code YouTube150. So we got some over-unders for the game. We got a 3-pack, 2 for Jaden, 1 for Terry McLaurin. Jaden Daniels over-under on 221.5 yards passing. I would have taken the over. I didn't think it was any way possible. This Steelers, I watched the Cowboys. I watched Daniel Jones carve them up defensively. There was no way in my mind that we weren't going to have a day on them. And he should have had that easy between the drops and his misses. He should have had a 300-yard passing day. He instead had 202 yards passing. So he was under that total, which is very, very disappointing. Jaden Daniels on the rushing front, he was the non-factor with his legs today. I think he had 2 yards rushing. I got to give Keanu Benton a great a pat on the back. Got to give him some credit and some kudos on that quarterback draw after the 2-minute warning. That one had a chance to pop for big yards, and he peeled back, retraced his steps, and made a hell of a tackle because there was some space and opportunity if he doesn't make that tackle. That's a big-ass tackle by Keanu Benton. So Jaden, the Steelers have, I think, allowed the least amount of rush yards to quarterbacks this season. I told you, Jaden's legs weren't going to phase them. They play Lamar Jackson twice a year. Jaden's legs, not going to phase them in the least, and it didn't. And then Terry McLaurin, 58.5 yards receiving, over-under on that. He blew past that. Over 100 yards for Terry again today. He was an X factor in the game. Really made some big catch and runs. Really was the real spark of this offense today. If you're being honest with yourself, would have loved to have seen him get targeted a little bit more with the effectiveness that he had in this game. But those are your prop bets. Check out the prop builder on BetUS. You can build yourself a prop bet, make yourself some money. You got a hunch, make it pay off. Put the prop bet together yourself and come out a winner. Try BetUS's prop builder on their site, betus.com. So that's going to do it for me, your man, Louie T. I appreciate you guys kicking it with me. Tough loss, bitter pill to swallow, but we'll be able to get this taste out of our mouth very quickly. Quick turnaround, Thursday night football. We had a chance to set up an epic matchup of 8-2 versus 7-2. We blew it. We screwed the pooch, and now it's 7-3 versus 7-2. And now we're not in first place. And now we got to go back and take what's rightfully ours. And so that's what we look to do on Thursday night football. And I have every intention of seeing the boys do that on Thursday night. But this one sucks. This one is a tough one because it didn't have to be this way. This was a lesson, a lot of lessons that were learned that could have been learned with a loss. This didn't need to be, we needed to lose this game to figure this out. So, Christopher McLaughlin, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, Chris, thank you for the super chat. Writes, hey, Lou, hope all is well with you and the family. Likewise. Tough loss. 2 questions. 1, where was the Terry target on the last offensive drive of the game? Maybe they were taking him away. Don't know. We won't know until we watch the film. 2, how concerned are you about the secondary on Thursday without Lattimore against their run? It is what it is. This is who we are defensively until Lattimore gets in the lineup. I don't want to play the game of we need Lattimore, we need Lattimore, we need Lattimore, because before Tuesday, we didn't have Marshawn Lattimore, and this is who we were defensively. Until he shows up and we see that he's the Marshawn Lattimore that we've come to know and love in this league, I'm just assuming that this is who we are defensively until otherwise notified. So we were talking about beating Philly 2 weeks ago when Marshawn Lattimore wasn't a part of this team. So I'm not changing my tune now all of a sudden because he's not playing on Thursday. I thought we were going to beat them with or without him. I didn't know he was a member of this team until Tuesday, just like the rest of us. So I've been talking about beating Philly for 2, 3, 4 weeks now. So nothing changes. We're going to have to do our best to affect the passer. The biggest thing is we got to stop the run. If we can't stop Saquon Barkley, then it won't even come down to their receivers being able to get us. And we're going to have to do it with a light box because we got to go back to the same methodology that we used against the Giants, where we got to keep 2 safeties deep. You can't give A.J. Brown one-on-one. You can't give Smitty one-on-one. You have to keep your safeties deep on both sides because we can't trust that either one of our corners can hold up. So we're going to have to try to stop the run without the extra safety in the box, and that's hard to do. So we got a lot of issues that we're going to have to figure out before Thursday. And hopefully we're able to do it. So anyway, I digress. That's going to do it for me, your man Louie Tee, here on the Command Post. I look forward to chopping it up with you guys next time. Commanders lose a heartbreaker, 28-27 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Drop to 7-3 on the season. Snap their 3-game win streak. Well, the last time we lost, we started in a win streak. Let's do it again, right? We lost the first game of the season. We went on a win streak. We lost our second game of the season. We went on a win streak. Lost our third game of the season. Let's go start a new streak. Starting on Thursday. I'll see you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. God bless and good night.